I thought it would be good to talk about some of the stuff that I've been working through over the last 3 or 4 months. I alluded to it a little bit in the previous video that things have been really busy, but also a bit heavy. And I think all the adrenaline of trying to get everything done has been a bit of a form of escape for a while as well. And as soon as I've been able to start to relax and breathe a bit, I've noticed that it's moved more into a bit of a depression. And it's interesting the way that that affects the drawing practice. What I noticed recently was I was increasingly valuing other tasks that weren't drawing more and more intensely. And I found that the tasks that I was needing to do, the things that were really, really important, were being neglected. Also, the things that center me and ground me were starting to be neglected. So it could almost be seen as a form of self-sabotage. And eventually I reached out and asked for some help and went to see an occupational therapist, which I always thought that occupational therapists were exclusively for kids. I saw them a lot when I was a kid because of my ADHD. And it felt a bit strange to go and see one as an adult. But what I've been learning has been really incredible over the last while. And it's tying into a lot of different aspects of my life as well. And comes back to the drawing process, which is just so incredibly important to me. So recently what I've noticed is that it's been almost impossible for me to get drawing done. I will start and just start to fall around, and if there's any kind of problem that needs solving in the studio, I'll jump to it and try and get that thing done rather than focusing on the drawings at hand. And there are a lot of circumstances that have led to this. There's a lot of really difficult things that have happened this year. So the context is important, and I'm practicing just to be okay with things not being okay. And things get difficult for all of us for various reasons all the time, and circumstances can really play a big part in demotivating the practice. The primary thing that I've been learning over the last couple of months, and especially the last few weeks, has been nervous system regulation. And this is coming from multiple different sources for me as well. So it feels like it's extremely important in my practice right now. And it's also the kind of thing that I can't believe we didn't learn at school. And I'm not sure if people are teaching this in school, but it feels like an extremely important and valuable skill set to have. And in a nutshell, it's basically being able to identify, firstly, if you're in an unregulated space, and then take some very simple measures to try and bring your nervous system back to a state that allows you to get the tasks done that you're looking to get done. So what I found with myself recently is that I'm often shifting towards a fight or flight state, this kind of high anxiety state. I know that I struggle with anxiety, and so that's always felt kind of normal, but lately it's been ramped up quite a bit. And so being able to just feel if my mouth is dry or if my heart rate is slightly elevated when it shouldn't really be, or if I'm feeling really tired is another indicator. I might start to yawn if I'm feeling really anxious, which is embarrassing because my whole team know about this. So whenever we start talking about something that I know that I've been neglecting, then I start to yawn, and they're all like, yeah. I feel like I'm an open book to them, which isn't always great. But the journey of figuring out the tells for myself have been really, really helpful. And then to learn how to use the input-output system of our nervous system. So if you're feeling like you're moving into a state that isn't conducive towards slow, methodical, highly detailed work, like if you're feeling very anxious and in this extremely ready to, run away or fight or something like that, you're not going to be able to calmly focus on the drawing. You're going to feel restless, and that energy actually starts to build up. And being able to just break that cycle and either use postures, which can be really helpful to bring your nervous system out of the potential fight or flight state, or from a dull state into a readiness state. It feels like a superpower. It feels incredible to be able to take so much control. And the way that looks could either be sitting down and looking around at things that you can list. So one of the exercises is to list 5 things that you can see, then to list 4 things that you can touch, list 3 things that you can hear, and 2 things that you can smell. The smell one is really difficult. What that's doing is just bringing your focus and your attention to the present. And that really is just an input command for your nervous system to assess the space that you're in, realize that you're not under threat, and hopefully bring you into a readiness state. Another one would be the crocodile pose, which is a yoga pose. And I think it's best to have someone maybe explain exactly how to do it, but the essence of it is that it slows down your breathing slightly and forces you into a slightly more restful state. Within minutes, you move from one more agitated state into this restful or readiness state. And it's just time and time again been so crucial for me to be able to make those shifts, because often I find myself just being thrown around by my nervous system or my headspace or by the anxiety that's floating around in my body, and it'll attach itself to narratives and it'll be justified with strange thought patterns or whatever it might be. It really feels like I've spent a lot of my life quite out of control, with my thoughts being almost just this antenna or thought machine that is just doing its own thing. And over the last couple months, it's been incredible to just learn some tools and some skills in bringing myself into the state that I need to be to get the work done that I want to get done. Also, it doesn't have to be a demanding thing. You don't have to leave your drawing table necessarily. I think something I found really wonderful as well has been to identify a state that I don't quite like or that isn't working for me, and to then focus on the sound of my pencil and count the strokes, and that'll often just help tilt me into a different direction that starts to be more conducive for a flow state. Or potentially counting my breaths, just breathing in and out 10 times, and that'll just soften that bit of tension that found itself building up for no real reason. Part of this journey has also been to do a sensory profile, so to figure out the things that I'm particularly sensitive to, and one of them, surprise, is lighting. So making sure that I have the right temperature of light. If it's too cold and intense, then I start to get really agitated. Sound-wise, I'm extremely sensitive as well, and so I've just got headphones that I work with most of the time, which has really been helpful. And then a smaller detail is the temperature as well. So knowing that coldness makes me feel quite uncomfortable as well. So moving a heater next to my drawing table has also just helped to create this environment that I can control and that I don't really need to be suffering in while I'm drawing. Yeah, and this has just been incredible. It's helped me a lot. So yeah, I hope that this can just help some of you who might also be fumbling around in the dark, trying to just get ourselves into a state where we can draw more comfortably and more easily. Before I end this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to this video sponsor, Squarespace. I've been working with them for a couple of years now, and they've played a huge role in my career, not only in sponsoring these videos and helping me maintain this channel, but early on in my career, I was looking for a way to showcase my work and make it easy for collectors to find me and get in touch with me. And I didn't have time to learn HTML and try and build a beautiful, reliable website. And I found that Squarespace did all of that effortlessly. I never had to patch or upgrade anything. I could register a domain with them and set up an online store. And most importantly, I could design a portfolio and show my work the way that I wanted to. Also, every time I got stuck, their amazing support team helped me out instantly. So if you're looking at building a website, give Squarespace a try. And if you decide that you love them, use this offer code and get 10% off your first purchase. Here we go. This video is a little bit more self-helpy, I guess, but this has really been something that is, I think, changing my life a bit and really helping me with my practice. And as I learn more about this stuff, it would be lovely to share. So let me know if this is the kind of thing that you're also interested in with your practice. That kind of feedback is really helpful for me. So let me know what you think in the comments, and leave a like if you found this video helpful or entertaining. As always, thanks for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.